In episode 150 of the UK Travel Planner podcast, we explore Buckingham Palace, covering ticket options, tour experiences, and essential tips to help you plan your visit to London's most iconic royal residence.
Welcome to the UK Travel Planning podcast. Your host is the founder of the UK Travel Planning website, Tracy Collins. In this podcast, Tracy shares destination guides, travel tips, and itinerary ideas, as well as interviews with a variety of guests who share their knowledge and experience of UK travel to help you plan your perfect UK vacation. Join us as we explore the UK from cosmopolitan cities to quaint villages, from historic castles to beautiful islands, and from the picturesque countryside to seaside towns.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. I'm Doug and today I'm turning the tables and interviewing Tracy about a truly royal experience visiting Buckingham Palace. So you visited the world famous palace on a small group tour 2 years ago, and I've researched and written a guide for the London Travel Planning website, so it seemed a perfect topic to share with our listeners. Are you ready to share your palace knowledge?
I am. I'm actually quite excited to talk about basically one of the most famous palaces in the world and such an iconic site in London. Yes, and I was very, very lucky a couple of years ago to do a small group tour in April, which I will talk a little bit more about later in this episode.
So let's start with the basics. What is Buckingham Palace and what makes it so special? And can you share a few fun facts as well?
I can do, right. So Buckingham Palace is the official London residence of the UK monarch, which of course at the moment is
Charles III.
Yeah. So, but it isn't just the UK monarch's residence. It's a symbol of British heritage. And a few things people might not know about it is that it was built in 1703 for the Duke of Buckingham, and it became a royal residence in 1761. So the first monarch to actually live there officially was Queen Victoria when she moved in 1837. Now, today it has over 750 rooms. Can you imagine that? So you're not going
Wow.
to I know. There's no way you'll be able to see all of those, and we're not allowed to see all those anyway. But it has 78 bathrooms. Just imagine cleaning all of that. And it's even got its own post office and postcode and a cinema and lots of other fantastic rooms in there. Really, it's amazing. Now, interestingly, the royal family doesn't actually own it. So it's held, no, they don't own it. Yeah, it's held in trust by the Crown Estate. Now, which is, as far as I understand it, basically it manages it and it pays any profits into the treasury for the benefit of the nation. So I guess that kind of means that we all own it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Anyway.
Which bit do I own?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's probably one of the bathrooms. Okay, so one tip if you are visiting Buckingham Palace, and we actually get asked about this quite a lot, is to check out the flag flying on top of the roof of Buckingham Palace itself.
Okay.
As this will tell you if the king is home or not. So the Royal Standard, if you see the Royal Standard, it means that they're in. He's in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the Union Jack, it means that they're not. Right? Now, and often people get this mixed up. If you see the Union Jack and assume that the king's at home, is not. It's a Royal Standard that will tell you that he's at home. Now, I'm not going to describe what they look like, but what I will do is that I'll put a picture of both of those, the Union Jack, just in case you don't know what it looks like, and the Royal Standard, which probably most people don't know what it looks like. Yeah. That listen to this podcast. In fact, I didn't know until a few years ago what it actually looked like.
Oh, that's really helpful.
So I'll put that in the show notes so you can check that out if you're not sure.
Okay. And it's not open all year, is it? Don't think?
No, it isn't. It isn't.
So when can people visit and what kinds of tickets are available?
Okay. So this is what my research has told me. So the state rooms are open from July to September every year. But I'm going to say at this point, it is essential to book tickets in advance. So if you leave it until July or August or September and turn up in London trying to get a ticket to get into Buckingham Palace, probably no chance. Now, there's a standard entrance ticket, which will get you into the staterooms and the gardens. It's self-guided with a free audio guide. There are also some exclusive small group tours like the Staterooms and Garden Highlights tour and the East Wing and Staterooms tour. For something longer, the Royal Day Out tour is 4.5 hours and it includes the King's Gallery, the Royal Mews, highly recommend, and the staterooms. Now, during other months of the year, the palace opens on selected dates for small guided tours, and that's how I managed to visit in April 2023. So I subscribe via the Royal Collection Trust to their emails, and I will put a link to that website in the show notes. And they sent me an email alerting me that there was going to be small group tours available. So I will say it's not cheap. I think it cost me over £90. But I booked it, and actually I absolutely loved it. The guide that we had was amazing. I think there was probably only maybe 14 or 15 of us on the tour. And it was the first time I'd ever been inside Buckingham Palace. And I loved it. I would say I did the Royal Mews the day after that, and actually our guide who'd taken us around Buckingham Palace, she recognised my handbag. Actually, she recognised my bag because she'd admired it on the tour, and she was like, "Oh, I remember you from the tour." In fact, it probably wasn't the day after; it was probably about 10 days after, actually, because I did the Royal Mews separately. And so lovely, really, really interesting, and it was so good having a guide because she knew so much. She works for Buckingham Palace and she's one of their guides, so she knew a lot about it. So I will just say that was really, really good, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But there are things happening.
I was going to say, I remember you talking about and raving about those tours you had there.
Yeah.
And particularly that somebody remembered your handbag as well.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
So I remember you saying there's something new also for 2025.
Yeah, I know, and it's just so exciting, and I really want to visit. I mean, we are going to be in the UK in September, but I haven't booked tickets yet because we're still planning what we're going to do. But if I do get the chance, I'd love to, because now if you actually enter through the iconic front gates and walk across the forecourt, just like the royal family,
so you can wave.
But I'm not sure they walk across it or they get kind of taking a Rolls Royce across it, to be honest. But anyway, you can walk across or go through. Can you imagine going through those gates and then walking across the forecourt and into Buckingham Palace?
Where so many have trod. I mean,
I think it's really exciting and something that I really want to do.
Definitely. So once you're inside, what are some of the highlights people can expect to see?
Right. Well, it's really interesting because for me, I don't know, it took my breath away in some ways, because a lot of it were things that I had recognised, obviously, because all of my life, Queen Elizabeth was my queen. So I kind of recognised so much of the rooms and so much that I saw during the tour. So you'll see the state room, and that's really the star attraction, and that's what it's used for official events, and it's full of art and ornate furnishings, really beautiful, and you will recognise it. You'll see the throne room, with King Charles and Queen Camilla's coronation chairs. Now, what I'll say to you, when I went in 2023, it was great because it was literally about 2 weeks before the actual coronation, 2 or 3 weeks before the coronation, and they actually had a room set up like a replica inside of Westminster Abbey, like a stage, and apparently at that point, King and Queen to be, they were practicing the ceremony for the coronation. So we got to see that. It was absolutely fantastic. So I loved that. You'll also get to see the White Drawing Room and the picture gallery, and you'll see masterpieces like that. I think these are actually owned by the royal family. Rembrandt, Titian, there's just paintings, like some of the world's priceless paintings, lining this picture gallery. You'll see the grand staircase, which really is a showstopper. And in summer, I didn't do it because I obviously visit in April, and it's something I really want to do. In summer, you get to visit the palace garden with 39 acres of landscape garden. It's got a lake, rose garden, and even a tennis court. And this, honestly, is something that I really want to do. And if you have visited Buckingham Palace and you're going this year and you're going to see the gardens, let me know, because I really want to know what they're like. I've heard they're beautiful.
That's wonderful. You're making me want to go. Right, let's talk logistics. When should people go and how do they get there?
Right, now the palace is open daily in July and August, but it closes on Tuesdays and Wednesdays in September. So the hours do vary slightly, but it opens at 9:30 a.m. and the last admission is either 4:30 or 5:30, depending on the month. So you'll have to check. You'll know when you book your tour and your ticket. Getting there is easy. The nearest tube is Green Park, which is around about a 6-minute walk away. There are other nearby stations, including Victoria, St James's Park and Hyde Park Corner. You can also catch buses or a coach to Victoria Coach Station, or even take an Uber boat to Westminster Pier, and then it's about a 20-minute walk away to get to Buckingham Palace that way. So it's not hard to get to.
No, it's not. You can come in from each direction as well.
I'm also just going to throw in there as well, if you actually go on the London Eye, and I know it's such a controversial thing, don't do the London Eye, do the London Eye. I said, if you want to do the London Eye, do it. Personally, I like it. You get a view of Buckingham Palace on a clear all the way all the way from the London Eye, which I think is really cool.
Oh, that's a useful little tip.
Yeah.
So, any key tips for listeners to help them make the most of their visit?
Right, definitely. I'm going to say this 3 times: book in advance, book in advance, book in advance. Right.
So, book in advance, then possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, today we are recording this episode. It's the 26th of March. Right, and some tours are already unfortunately sold out on the Royal Collection Trust website. So it's crazy, but they are already booked up. So yeah, just make sure that if you want to do it, that you check. There are a couple of tours still available, so I would get that done. So arrive on time, because entry is timed and latecomers won't be admitted.
So that's particularly important as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So know how you're going to get there.
Yes.
And it's important that you do arrive on time.
Yeah, make sure that you plan from wherever you are before, whatever you're doing. In fact, I'll just plan your day around that, if that's what you're going to be doing. And that's what I've done. So visit other things in the area, which we will talk about in a second. Because if you're late, you're not going to get in.
So don't underestimate the size of London. If you're coming in from outside London, it will take a bit of time to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Expect security checks. They're not just going to let you walk in with everything. So it's like the airport. You can't take any large bags in. So either leave left luggage at Victoria Station if you've got suitcases. We have an article about where you can leave luggage in London. Yep. So that's your best bet. So if you've got large bags with you, don't. And something, I've seen this in places. I remember going to the Colosseum in Rome a few years ago and seeing people trying to take suitcases into the Colosseum. Seriously, guys, don't try and take suitcases into Buckingham Palace. They won't let you in. One thing that really disappointed me, but I can understand this, is that you're not allowed to take any photos or videos inside Buckingham Palace. I understand why, but it's like you really want to, but you're not allowed to. You can take photos in the gardens, apparently. Wear comfortable shoes, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking and a lot of going up and down stairs as well, from what I remember as well. Going up and down, I remember the staircase and stuff. So make sure that you've got comfortable shoes on. I always say that all the time anyway. Yeah. Now, a bonus tip: if you book a ticket directly from the official Palace website, you can convert it into a 1-year pass for a free return visit. Just make sure that you sign it, print your name on your ticket before you leave, and make sure to get a member of staff to stamp and validate it. I did do that when I was there in April, but never got a chance to go back again in that yet. But also I'm also going to throw that in. You can do this at Windsor Castle as well. Just need to put your name on it, sign it, and then make sure that they stamp it so it's validated, so you can return in 12 months.
Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you for that. What else is nearby that visitors might want to add to their day?
Right, so obvious things to do: changing of the guard. So that's a must. It usually takes place Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 11 a.m. Again, we've got a guide to the changing of the guard on the website, so we'll put a link into that. There's also St James's Park and Green Park, and they're lovely for a stroll or a picnic.
On a nice day.
I think St James's Park personally is my favourite one. And then, of course, you've got Westminster Abbey, Big Ben, Trafalgar Square, the National Gallery, Churchill War Rooms. They're all within a 15 to 20-minute walk. So that's what I'm saying. If you're planning a visit, if you're going to spend some time at Buckingham Palace, I would plan your day around it. So again, and we say this all the time actually, that when you're planning your itinerary for London, rather than bobbing across London all the time, stick to what's in that area. So depending on what day, obviously start with your booking for Buckingham Palace, because that's going to be your main thing, and then plan the rest of the day around it. I think that's the best bet. And look at what else you can go and see. But don't overpack your itinerary.
Oh, no. Don't underestimate that walking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's really good. So what would be your one tip for someone visiting Buckingham Palace for the first time?
I've kind of said it a few times already, but the main thing really is to book as early as possible, especially if you want one of the special tours. Plan your day around your time slot, like I've said. Wear comfortable shoes and take time to enjoy the gardens and let me know what it's like. Buckingham Palace is a magical place to experience British history and royal tradition. So, enjoy it. Yeah,
definitely. That's brilliant advice. So thank you for sharing all of that. I know this will help so many listeners plan their visit.
No, thanks, Doug. It's always really good to do specific episodes of the podcast about visiting certain destinations around the UK and in London. So we also have guides to visiting the Tower of London and Westminster Abbey as well, and previous podcasts. So do take a listen to those if you're planning to visit any of those kind of iconic must-visit places in London. And also I'm going to say,
I was just going to say, so tell them what it's like to be on the other side of the mic.
I was just about to say, it's actually really nice for me to be interviewed rather than me. I mean, actually saying that, I love interviewing people. Yeah. I just prefer talking to somebody else rather than doing a solo episode.
You just like talking.
I do like talking, yeah.
Okay, so that's it for this episode of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and check the show notes for helpful links. So any questions, just leave us a voice message via the SpeakPipe link in the show notes.
Brilliant. Well, I guess that just leaves us to stay until next week.
Happy UK Travel Planning.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the UK Travel Planning Podcast. As always, show notes can be found at uktravelplanning.com. If you've enjoyed the show, why not leave us feedback via text or a review on your favourite podcast app? We love to hear from you, and you never know, you may receive a shout out in a future episode. But as always, that just leaves me to say, until next week, happy UK travel planning.